everybody, Cinema Sickness here with another Cinema Sickness review. And today we're going to take a look at The Woman in Black. Now, I went into this movie expecting something probably mediocre. I wasn't expecting anything great. I did hear some pretty decent reviews on the film, plus the trailer for this movie really made me want to pick it up and check it out. The trailer looked very creepy, it made the movie look very interesting. Plus this stars Daniel Radcliffe, and ever since I saw the movie My Boy Jack, it just really showed me that he has a lot of acting skills above and beyond Harry Potter. So this is only my second film seeing him in that it wasn't a Harry Potter movie, and that was another reason why I really wanted to check this one out, and he did a fantastic job in it. But in the end, we did just get a mediocre movie. Very heavy in creepiness, though. I would definitely say, as far as the chills are concerned, very heavy. But as far as the story, kind of light. It's a story that I swear I've seen before. I'm not sure if I've seen it in another movie, maybe read about it in a book, maybe some ghost story somewhere before. I'm not sure, but it's a story that I've just heard of before. It's all about this woman whose child is killed, and now every time somebody sees this woman, again, she's dead, so she's a ghost, but every time somebody sees her, another child dies. So there's this village with all these children that are continuously dying over the years, because people are seeing this ghost apparition every so often, and now your child's going to end up dying once you see the ghost. Again, a story I could swear I've heard of before. It could have made for an interesting movie, and it did make for an okay story, but I just didn't think it was all that interesting of a story. It wasn't interesting enough to make some really great ghost story. It was just an okay telling. I was also kind of let down at the end where the way they thought to dispose of this ghost was to reunite the body of the son who died and the ghosts of the mother, to reunite them. If they could reunite the bodies by putting the body of the child who they dug up out of the ground, put it into the grave of the ghost, the mother who died, they could end the whole cycle and put the spirit to rest. And spoiler here, it doesn't really work in the end. And again, I've seen stories like that before. In fact, I even pretty much assumed at the end of the movie, I thought that there's no way that's going to work. It just doesn't seem like it's going to solve the issue. And, if it did, I would have been more surprised than if it wouldn't have. And only because I've seen that before. I've seen this in a story where in order to end this cycle of this spirit going around killing people, they have to reunite the bodies. And I swear I've just seen this story before and heard this story at least once before, maybe even more than that. And with it not working, I've seen that in a dozen movies. So you do kind of see things coming in this film, and you do sort of see where it's going as it progresses along. But regardless, it still was interesting enough to make a decent story, just nothing special, nothing above and beyond, and you weren't super invested in the story. What you did get invested in was the fact that it's pretty creepy. They do a very good job of giving you some chills in this movie. The whole time, well, maybe about 75% of the time, Daniel Radcliffe is in this haunted house, basically. It's where the spirits of this mother resides, and very creepy moments in there. Everything from just stuff moving around and the spirit showing up. I love the scene with the rocking chair going back and forth. It's not just rocking slowly, but it's going really fast, and lots of different, cameras panning around, and obviously you see the face, and lots of creepy moments. If you're like me and you have an active imagination, sitting down in your family room, in the dark, alone, watching this movie, I had a hard time getting off the couch and going back upstairs. I was very creeped out. So I'll give the movie that. Very, very creepy. If you want to watch a movie where you're going to get creeped out, this is definitely one to see. But like I said, don't be expecting some amazing story. I did kind of enjoy the ending though, and big spoiler here, so if you don't want to know the ending, stop watching now. But the end of the story, as I already mentioned, them reuniting the child's body and the mother's body together, it doesn't work. You start thinking maybe it did work and everything's going to be okay, but if you've seen as many movies as I have, you pretty much can already tell it's not going to. So Daniel Radcliffe's son shows up, and sure enough, the spirit starts, forcing him to walk away and puts him on the train tracks, makes him walk towards the train. Daniel Radcliffe runs after him, grabs him, and for a second they make it look like maybe they survived, but then they see their dead, the son's dead mother, Daniel Radcliffe's dead wife, and you end up seeing her, and he says to the son, the son asks, "Who's that?" Daniel Radcliffe says, "It's your mother," and they all get reunited. So kind of a weird happy ending where Daniel Radcliffe and his son are dead. They were just killed by this spirit, but they were reunited with their wife, and they seem very happy about it. I mean, the fact that Daniel Radcliffe has been reunited with his wife, he seems pretty happy. He might be dead, but hey, he's with the woman he loves. So this weird sort of ending where, it's horrible that him and his child died, but they're happy about it. Again, Daniel Radcliffe is back with his wife, who he's been thinking about this entire movie, who he misses so much. She ended up dying in childbirth while giving birth to their son, and he just completely misses her, and he's always thinking about her, and he's reunited. So sort of this weird sort of sad/happy ending. I thought it worked. It was okay, but really when it comes down to it, just a mediocre movie. As far as the story is concerned, I didn't think it was anything amazing. It was decent enough, though. It's like I said, it's mediocre, it's average, it's worth a watch. You're not going to be blown away by it, but you're not going to be bored by it either. It was a decent movie, and I would recommend checking it out. One of the things that really bugged me in this movie, though, is the whole time this town doesn't want Daniel Radcliffe to go to this house. They want him to stay away. They're trying to kick him out. Everybody's just shutting him away. Some people are just completely ignoring him. Other people are just trying to rush him back off to the train and send him back to London. And at no point does he ever go, why? And that bugged the hell out of me. I just wanted him to say, okay, explain to me what's going on here. Because people children start dying, and still everybody's, very much against Daniel Radcliffe because they're all blaming him because he saw the ghost. And they never tell him why. It's not till much later on in the movie that somebody ends up explaining to him what's going on. I just really wanted Daniel Radcliffe to say, okay, look, you're all pissed off at me. You all want me to go back home. You do not want me to go to this house. What the hell's going on? Just somebody please tell me why you're all so pissed at me. And maybe if you explain it to me, I'll leave that. I mean, granted, he probably wouldn't have believed the story in the first place. He would have thought it was just some crazy wise tale. But still, why didn't he ask? Why did he never say, why are you all trying to get rid of me? I just don't understand why he never bothered to ask that question. I'm thinking if I go to a town where everybody is trying their hardest to get rid of me, I'd at least go to one person, hey, what's going on? Why do they want me to leave? That was the one major thing that did bug me in this movie. If I had to nitpick one other thing, I have a hard time seeing Daniel Radcliffe with a son. Daniel Radcliffe has that, look, he's kind of got that whole baby face thing going on. I have a hard, I guess it's sort of sad for me to say I have a hard time picturing him as anybody else but Harry Potter. But I don't necessarily have to picture him as Harry Potter, but I can only picture him as somebody younger. He just looks very young. He looks like, he should be early 20s, which again, I realize is plenty old enough to have a kid, especially for when this movie takes place. I guess they probably did have children pretty young back then, but still, I just sort of see it kind of hard to picture him with a kid. It just looked kind of off to me. But again, that's just nitpicking. That wasn't a big deal. Him with the kid still worked, and it still made for a good movie. So that's the only really negatives I have with the film. So like I said, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It was a decent watch. Yes, mediocre, but still decent enough. I thought the story was, again, something I've seen before somewhere. I can't picture where. You do sort of see things coming. It's not the greatest story in the world, but it is a decent ghost story. Worth checking out if you are into horror movies, and especially if you want to be creeped out, because like I said, they lay the creepiness on very, very heavy in this movie. They do a fantastic job creeping out. So in the end, would I recommend it? Yes. If you can get this for cheap, I would say pick it up, check it out. Maybe if you don't want to necessarily buy it, I would say at least give it a rent. Go at the Redbox, Netflix, whatever, your local rental store. Give it a rent, check it out. It is worth seeing if you're undecided whether or not you want to get it or not. This is actually on sale right now at Best Buy for only $9.99. I got my copy for $4.99. I had a $5 off Reward Zone gift certificate, so I got mine for pretty cheap. And I would say it's probably worth about $5. I really wouldn't say necessarily spend $10 on it, but at the same time, it did. What's drawing me to this movie, what's making me say I really enjoyed it, was the creepiness. Although the story was mediocre and I can't praise it for the story. I'm certainly not going to do that. It just creeped the hell out of me, and I love a movie that just gives me chills. A movie that makes me not so sure I want to get off the couch and go upstairs is okay in my book. You know, it could be the worst story in the world, but if it creeps me out, I'm digging it. So I do like this movie, but yeah, would I say it's worth the $10? Really hard to say. For me, no. For somebody like me who is a bargain hunter, rarely pays over $5 per title, I would say no, it's not worth $10, but for your average consumer who pays well above $5 for a movie, I would say maybe if $10 doesn't seem like that much money for you, sure, I would say it's worth it, but otherwise just hold off, wait till you can get it for cheaper. Or like I said, if you were undecided, definitely give it a rent. It is worth seeing. Even if you're not going to love the movie, it is at least worth a watch. So would I recommend it? Yes, I would. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next Cinema Sickness review. See ya.